Welcome to Your Cyber Path, the podcast that helps you get your dream cybersecurity job by sharing the secrets of experienced hiring managers and top cybersecurity professionals with you. Now, on to the show.
Yeah, so we got this question from one of our listeners, and I'm not going to actually call out their name because it is kind of a sensitive question. But the question is, am I too old to do a career change into cybersecurity? And just to give you some context, the person who asked this is an older gentleman living in the Pacific Northwest, so Seattle, Oregon, kind of part of the U.S. Over there. And he's around 60, 65 years old. So he is an older gentleman. And really the crux of his question is, there does happen to be this thing of ageism that happens in our industry. And, is that going to prevent him from getting a job? What can he do to help increase his chances and things like that? So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about here. And if you're younger, this still does apply to you because, ageism isn't just, the person is 60 or over. I've seen ageism happen when you are under 30 and people discriminate against you because you're too young. I've seen it when you're over 40 and people think you're too old. And there's like this perfect sweet spot in like your 30s that everyone thinks you're like the perfect cybersecurity candidate. And honestly, that's what we're going to debunk today, is that there really isn't this age thing, but there are some hurdles, and you have to understand that and be aware of how you can bypass them and overcome this, because some employers are afraid of hiring young people. Some people are afraid of hiring old people. And you, at some point, you're either too young or too old on somebody's scale, and you need to know how to deal with that.
Right. And I think one of the reasons why people are concerned about older hiring an older person is salary, for example. Like, they're concerned that they're going to ask for too much money, whatever the employer thinks too much might be. There could be some unspoken concerns about sickness or just apathy. Like somebody, like when I was on the Air Force, we had this little saying, "Retired on duty." Right.
Yes.
So
the road program, retired on active duty. They're just waiting out for the next year until they're done, and you're getting no work out of that person, but you're like, well, can't get rid of them. They're just stuck here until they retire.
Yeah. Things like that. And so those are probably some of the things. Maybe they don't feel like the person's going to be particularly productive. Whatever the reason, I can tell you that ageism is illegal. It is not permitted in the United States to discriminate based on age when it comes to somebody who's over 40 years old. Now, interestingly enough, when you opened up the episode, Jason, you talked about how for some positions, there is such a thing as a perception of being too young, but that is not a protected class. So you could actually say to somebody, come back and see me when you're 30, and I'll be more interested in considering you to be a candidate for this job. And that's actually not illegal. But not that I hear anybody do it, but I just think it's interesting.